Yo, what's up? It's Marvin, Food Fidelity, making a oxtail soup today. In the holidays, we typically have oxtail, greens, and black-eyed peas on the table. I decided to put them all in a pot and have one dish because that's the kind of stuff I do from time to time. I start with the sofrito as my seasoning base. Now, in most cultures, a sofrito does not have tomatoes, but I took some liberties with this dish and added tomatoes to the sofrito. But sofrito is a great way to add like some complexity and just a little more depth to a dish without getting crazy with the ingredients. I wanted to include the tomatoes because oxtails have a fair amount of fat, richness, and collagen, so you need some acidity to break through all of that, and so I included the tomatoes in my sofrito, even though my purist friends will tell me tomatoes don't go in sofrito. But hey, like I said, it's my dish. I'm doing it my way, and I got a reason. But that's it. So blend all of that up, season my oxtails up, very generously. I have salt, pepper, allspice, and paprika, which is kind of like my base spice mix when I cook. I add things on top of that. But that's typically what I start with. But any braising dish, you want to give the meat a really nice sear on all sides. So, you want to crank the heat up on that pot, medium heat, and then just give it a nice sear. You get that color and you fill in the flavor. And that's the beginning and the workings of like a very dynamic flavorful dish that's layered and complex and just good. Not a lot of ingredients, but the ones we're using, we're going to maximize them. We're going to make them matter because that's how you really make a tasty, flavorful dish. So now that I've gotten them kind of nice and brown, I've rendered some of that fat, I can start to work on some of the other elements. So you see I have another protein. This is purely for flavor. This is the smoked turkey. So if you think about making greens or black-eyed peas, a lot of that smoke is really what gives it that flavor. And I wanted to keep that element in this dish, even though this is not purely a greens or a black-eyed peas dish. The wine kind of playing a similar role as the tomatoes with the acidity, but I want to concentrate the flavor by reducing it. Again, that's more flavor. And when you combine it with the beef broth and that sofrito, plus the seasoning, plus the smoked turkey, you have the makings of a really, really, really good dish. And so that's kind of what I'm going for here, is just kind of adding things sequentially over time to give that layered effect. And so you taste that, you experience all of those different layers when you taste when you sample the dish, right? You may get a little bit up front, you may get a little bit back on the tongue, you may get some on the way down, but it's definitely going to be an experience. And so make sure you give those oxtails a head start on the cooking. You're going to need about 3 hours for them to kind of get to that maximum tenderness, and then you can finish it off by adding the greens and the black-eyed peas for another 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how well those black-eyed peas cook and the texture you want from them. The greens won't be that much of an issue. They'll cook down pretty easily. I will say, hey, if you're asking me, yes, you can use canned black-eyed peas, but why would you want to do that? Like, right, what's the fun in that? This is so much better just to, you got the time, you're taking a slow-cooked dish, so there's no reason to use cans to take any shortcuts because the cooking time is the cooking time, essentially, given the greens and the oxtail, right? So you can give it a test for tenderness to see how things are going. But that's the dish. Like I said, you don't see a whole lot of ingredients, but what I will say is each ingredient individually contributes a lot to the flavor. But then when you combine them, there is a synergy, a big synergy that happens. So 1 + 1 = 5 in this case, right? Because those ingredients are just solid and they work really well together. So that's the dish. Not a whole lot to it. It's really time and timing. Like, right, you need, to allot for about 4 hours of cook time. And then you want to add the ingredients at the right time. And so that's where the timing element comes into play. And that's it. So you can enjoy this dish, all of these different ingredients together as opposed to having 3 individual dishes. Throw them all in one pot. You could probably get away with doing this in a crock pot, but I'm not a crock pot guy, so don't ask me too much about that. But that's the dish. If you like it, definitely hit me up. Leave a like, leave a comment. Most importantly, hit that red subscribe buttons, and you get dishes or recipe updates to your inbox directly each week when I post new content. Thanks. Peace out.